Hey kids, welcome to grade 10 academic remote learning for science. So I'm going to take you through a few things here today. I'm going to show you how our website D2L Brightspace works. I'm going to show you how we'll be evaluated in our class. And we'll start here with our news on our website. Our news shows us everything that we're going to be doing throughout a day. This is sort of a typical day here, November 12th, day 2. So I like to list what section we're doing in the textbook. Right here, if you click on this file, it'll open up as a reading. If you happen to miss the class, I've got a video posted with a quick sort of summary of what we did. And then traditionally, there'll be a worksheet followed by answers, and you can click on all these things. Then there's a second video, and as well too, there's actually a quiz here for this one. We'll get to all that in a bit. Going down to our first day of the class, I've got the course outline listed here first, so I'm going to click on that and we'll go through the course outline, and then we'll come back and take a look at the website here as well. So when you click on a file, it'll take a moment to load up, and then you've got a couple of options at this time. It'll load up, and most of the time it'll appear in this box if you have a strong internet or connection, but often I just like to hit the download button, which is right here, so I'm not going to do that too. We'll download it. There's also a second download button here. And this one's going to open up into Word. For this course, I use Word and PowerPoint almost exclusively. So we'll click on the file. It'll take a second here to open up. And I'll take a look at our course outline. So this is grade 10 academic science, and I'll be your teacher here. So there's a quick description, and essentially what we're going to be doing is we're covering 4 sections in this course, 4 main ideas. We've got a textbook, and I will be providing this textbook in PDF form on the website as you just saw. And there is a prerequisite here of grade 9 academic. So our sections that we're going to tackle in this course are going to be in no particular order here. We're going to be looking at biology, which deals with plant and animal cells and systems of the body. We're going to be looking at chemistry as well. This is all about, it'll be a bit of a review of things you learned in grade 9, standard atomic notation, protons, electrons, neutrons, and then we'll get into equations, balancing, and creating our own double displacement, and that sort of stuff. I've also got the Earth and Space Science section, which is climate change. This will probably be the one we look at last. And we also have physics, and this one is about light and refraction and reflection, and those are going to be the 4 units. And like I said, we're probably going to do chemistry first, maybe physics second, biology third, and climate change fourth, although that's not really carved in stone. So those are the 4 sections. So scrolling down here for our expectations, and this will also explain how how I will run the class. Students are expected to complete all work assigned. Failure to complete work will result in a significantly lower mark than students expect to achieve. Number 2, students are expected to attend regularly. A Microsoft Teams meeting will be held daily to go over the day's material. Failure to attend daily will result in gaps in knowledge that will cause students to achieve at a lower than expected level. So with our meetings, please get to those meetings at least a couple of minutes early. I like to start promptly. What we'll be doing in each daily lesson is essentially I'll be teaching whatever you would be used to seeing on the board. So like if you're in the classroom, I'll go over stuff. Now, if you can't attend the class, what I'll do is I will either record that lesson and post it on the website, or I'll have some other videos on the website for you to watch. But I think the best results will be from people attending daily, being with me in the lesson. During the lesson, I'll give you time to work on whatever material we're doing, and then there will be many small evaluations along the way, and you don't want to fall behind on these. We'll come to that in a second as well. Students are encouraged to bring their devices to class for school usage. Obviously, this is online, and so you've kind of got carte blanche on whatever you want to use. So hopefully everybody's got some kind of laptop, and obviously calculators, if needed, are just on the computer. And again, just use whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever you get the best results are fine. Students are expected to complete all experiments and write-ups for labs. Even if a student is absent, each pupil is expected to complete a write-up by obtaining the results from other students. There will be at least a couple of things we'll be uploading in this class, experimentally based, and I will show you that as well coming up. And if you happen to miss that day, the expectation is that you do it and get it done. Students are expected to conduct themselves in a mature manner. This includes respecting the teacher, other students, and visitors to the online class. Offensive language and behavior will result in detention or perhaps a suspension. Well, I don't know about that last part, but discipline hopefully won't be an issue. Okay, so let's look at the websites that we're going to be using here, the different technologies. Firstly, we've got the Brightspace here, or the D2L, and I would hope that everybody has already at least logged into this in the past, and we'll jump to that here in a second. We'll go back to it. And I do have here in red, the site will be used for content, quizzes, and grades. So let's go over that stuff here. So I'm going to go to the home page. So like I said, we've got a daily record of things that we're doing. This first one here is a PDF of the textbook, and maybe I'll click on that for a second and we can take a look. So here is the reading. And so sometimes I'll expect students to do these things ahead of time. Other times perhaps we'll go through it in class. I think with the chemistry unit, most of the expectations will be that you do the readings after I'm done the lesson, and sort of preparation for the next day. Scrolling down here, this is the very first day. Sometimes I'll have the read ahead here, and this is the expectation that we'll go through the lesson, and then you'll do that reading. And then when we start the next class, you're already at least familiar with the topic, and so then we can explore it a little bit. So there's a few tabs we're going to need to be familiar with here. Of course, the course home is what I just clicked to come back. Assignments, there's a possibility that if we have to upload anything, this is essentially our Dropbox, and if there are labs or maybe a quiz or something that I need to get uploaded, what I'll do is I have a science fair here, one that we won't be doing, but if you were submitting a science fair, you just click on it and then you'd be able to have all the options there for uploading. It's pretty straightforward. The other tab we're going to use is going to be the More tab. There's a couple of things on here we need to look at. Quizzes and grades are essentially the two things we're going to use on this tab here. So if you click on quizzes, so every quiz we do, often I link them on the news, but sometimes I forget, and they're all going to appear here anyway, so maybe this is the default. So this is the only current quiz here, is our Introductory Quiz, and I have an unlimited number of attempts. Sometimes there'll be one attempt, most times there'll be a couple of attempts, and generally what happens with quizzes is once you submit it, it'll show you which ones you got right and wrong, tell you the right answers, and show you what you got on the quiz. And so then obviously you can sort of learn from your mistakes and then hopefully do better the second time. And the other one is grades. Now, since it's right at the beginning of the course, there are no grades, but everything that we do will appear on this grade list here. There's no items found. It's going to be a list of things. There'll be some comments. It'll tell you what you got. And then at the top here, as long as I've set this up properly, your overall grade will be there. So once you do an activity and it gets marked, your grade will automatically appear right here. So you can always go and check it after you have done something. Back to the home page. So that's about all that we need to be familiar with. Again, we got our More tab with a couple of things, the odd thing to upload, and then everything is under the course home as well. So let's go back to our file here, and we'll keep looking. The second thing is EDSB, which hopefully we're a little familiar with. Now, I'm going to be using EDSB for a couple of things. If you have to email me or you want to get in contact with me, the best way is through EDSB. The only unfortunate part is once you send me a message, it doesn't exist yet. I don't get an alert for saying that I have a message in my inbox. It's just like the next time I go in, obviously I can look. So it's sort of dependent on when I'm going in to check these things. So I always respond. So if it takes maybe overnight, don't get upset. I will get back to you. I have to put our grades into EDSB as well, but EDSB will not act as our most up-to-date grades service. The Brightspace, the D2L, this is where you're going to find your grades. Periodically, I'll update EDSB with those grades, but sometimes kids fall behind. I'm not able to update it, etc., etc. It tends to be a problem, so always default to your most up-to-date grade being on the Brightspace or the D2L. So really, I just want to use EDSB to keep in contact with parents and students. And then the last thing we'll be using is going to be Microsoft Teams. I've posted the link in EDSB. We'll be meeting, like I said, daily to go over things. And it's probably very important for you to attend those meetings. One thing actually I should mention too would be attendance. And attendance is going to also appear. The default one I'm going to go with is our Brightspacer D2L. So it's great if you attend the meetings, and if you're there, that's good. I try to update kind of visually for attendance, but Brightspace actually logs your attendances. And what I tend to do is, I know sometimes people can't make the lessons, so what I'll do is at nighttime I'll go on to D2L and it'll tell me about your last login, and that's what I will base your attendance off. So if you do happen to miss a lesson, make sure you at least check in there daily so I can mark you present. In terms of our work here, we really got only a couple of things we're going to evaluate. So our term work is going to be 70%, and it's going to be made up of quizzes that will be weighted out of 1, and the quizzes will be frequent. In fact, best case scenario is we have a quiz every day or every other day on our topics. What we won't be having at the end of each of our 4 units is a unit test. So really all of our mark is going to be based on our quiz work and then any labs and assignments that we have to upload. We're generally going to spend about 10 days on each unit, and then at the end we're going to have a 30% exam, and the exam will be run the same as the quizzes. It will be online. And so we just kind of save some time, in essence, by eliminating the unit tests and the unit reviews. But then at the end of the course there will be some time to review for our exam. So I think that should about cover it. So now is the time that we get down to work and get this course done.